ये डे 2 है ऑफ CREDAI-MCHI ग्रैंड प्रॉपर्टी एक्सपो 2022 सेशन 1 और ये सेशन का जो टॉपिक है इज स्टोरी टेलर एंड इन्फ्लुएंसर इकोसिस्टम ड्राइविंग ऑर्गेनिक रियल एस्टेट सेल्स. सो मिस्टर विकी, I leave it up to you. Have a great session.
Thank you, man. Thank you. A very good morning to one and all present here. We'll begin with introducing the panel. We have esteemed panel. First on the list is Mr. Vishal Bhargava. Good morning, Vishal. He's a well-known journalist and has preferred medium Twitter. He's also associated with Money Control, which helps him address the larger audience base on investments pertaining to real estate. Second, we have Aakash. Aakash is a well-known infra YouTuber focusing on not just MMR's development, but whole country, whole India. He has subscriber base of 4.5 lakhs on YouTube and garners audiences across the country. Third on the list, we have Pranshu. Pranshu has got an eye on Mumbai real estate, right? So he's from Pixel 2, has preferred platforms, Instagram and YouTube, makes city look gorgeous through drone shoots, and aptly covers every pixel of the city and has been into this space from a very, very long time. Good morning, Pranshu. Next, we have Pranali. Flying Turtle co-founder, prefers YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, takes customers through the journey of what to expect from a home and all the offers from the developers. Fifth on the list, we have Mr. Varun Singh. He's on call right now. Good morning, Varun. Square Feet India. He's a journalist with an experience of over 18 years. Varun started his career as a journalist covering real estate with Midday newspaper in 2006. He has covered real estate news for DNA, freelanced with Mumbai Mirror, and currently freelances for Hindustan Times. Varun also runs a real estate news website, squarefeetindia.com. Varun is on social media platform Twitter and has a follower count of above 45,000. Commendable, Varun. He also loves to write about politics. Next on the list, we have Mayank Agarwal. He's a real estate content creator on Instagram where he uses fun reels and short videos to illustrate real estate rules and regulations in India. He helps demystify real estate for the layman. He's also the co-founder of the Green Cottage. And last but not the least, you have Sachin and me from Memes of Real Estate. Sachin will be answering all the questions on behalf of Memes of Real Estate as I'll be moderating this event today. Should we start, guys? We have all the questions set for the morning. Vishal, first question from you. What is the need gap that you saw? And take us through your journey and what triggered you to do whatever you're doing currently.
So Vicky, my journey in this space began like many people. It started as a prospective home buyer. In one way, when I was doing my search, I realized that while there's a lot of information available publicly, there is not a lot of qualitative information. So you have details like pricing, bedrooms, amenities, but there's nothing qualitative. And whoever I asked led me on a path which I was not convinced about. So when I'm looking to do one of the biggest purchases of my life, and if I'm not convinced by the narrative that people are selling me, I decided to embark on my own journey. I think in 1 year, I would have probably seen 400, 450 projects. And I had a pretty open canvas. It's not that I wanted a particular location. I was open to not whole of Mumbai, but multiple locations. And in that pursuit, I started. I realized some of the gaps. And after getting those gaps, I realized that many home buyers like me had the same challenges. That how do you simplify things? How do you read an environment? How should they probably negotiate? And how much to really believe? That's the real crux.
Great, good to know. Mayank, would you like to answer that? What is the need gap that you saw and what do you love what you're doing currently? Take us through your journey.
Yeah, sure, Vicky. Am I audible? Yeah. So when I started real estate in 2012, it is by far the most opaque industry there is in India. Very unregulated, let's be honest. So I had a lot of trouble as a first generation trying to understand terms in real estate. For example, you don't even know what floor rise means or carpet area means. And because of that ignorance, you are misleading your clients. Not because you want to, because you don't know any better. And then you go and ask other sales professionals, they also don't know. So, it's because of which I knew that eventually I wanted to get into education, into the education space of real estate. And obviously now, after having spent 10 years, I was confident enough to do that. Hence, last year I started my Instagram channel where we just focused on making short content, 60-second content addressing various rules, regulations of real estate in a simplified manner. So because this is, like Vishal bhai said, it's the most expensive purchase in your lifetime. And people just buy houses without knowing anything. So that's the whole, gap that we identified, and we just wanted to educate the layman. In fact, not just the layman, even real estate professionals. And the best part about this job is that we ourselves end up learning a lot every day.
Aptly answered, Mayank. Varun, would you like to take that question? You also help all the customers to know their rights. What are their rights as home buyers, right? So please take us through your journey. How has your journey been?
कृष्ण बिहारी नूर को अगर आप लोगों ने सुना हो तो उन्होंने एक बहुत ही सुंदर कविता कही थी कि सच घटे या बढ़े तो सच न रहे, झूठ की कोई इंतहा ही नहीं. So something that I follow in my life, and as a journalist for 18 years, I have been doing this, that speak truth, and that is what people are looking for. I didn't start my Twitter account thinking that, it may end up helping anyone. It was for my self-gratification that I started. I wanted to be on Twitter or whatever, wherever it is. I started journalism with a motive that I want to do something that can help people. And throughout these years, one thing that I have learned is the more you speak truth, the transparent you are, it helps. I remember Nayan Shah, way back in 2008, I was doing an article and he had told me since then,
The impact is long term. Can you please elaborate on that?
So, real estate is very late accepting influencer marketing, whereas other industries have already accepted that thing. So we are already late. Still, we are working on that thing, creating good content. In other industry, if you are putting any hoarding, that is only for 1 month or 15 days. But here, when you're creating any content that we are posting on our channel or any developer's platform, social media platform, that is there for lifetime. Because we don't remove that. They can use whenever they want to boost that thing, they can boost it after 6 months, after 1 year, that is there. That increases its credibility. When any influencer is working for any developer, it gives the traction of audience to their page. The audience which don't know about any brand, but influencers come into the picture, they create good, innovative, quirky content for the developer, and then that it comes to the customer as well. The customer got to know if that particular influencer is doing this content, they trust that influencer because they have seen them working only for particular brands. As we all only work for real estate, people have that faith on us that they will give the correct information to us. That's how it changed the prospect of any influencer. Yeah.
Aakash, would you like to take that?
So agree with the point. When once something is put on social media, it is put as a form of video or anything. It stays forever. Firstly, that. But second thing that influencer marketing brings is trust. In traditional ways of marketing, you wouldn't see someone pointing at an individual and then saying, yes, I'll go with them. But when it comes to an individual working for a brand or telling this brand is better or whatever, the viewer is someone who is knowing you for a long period of time. They have decided actively to follow you. So whatever words that come out of your mouth are much more valuable when it comes to influencer marketing as compared to like billboards or normal TV advertisement. So that's what it brings. And when it comes to like, especially if we talk in terms of real estate sector, one project start, it goes on for years, right? So when it comes to like a video format, it can be revived again and again whenever it is needed. The metadata can be changed, the thumbnail can be changed. It can be again put into ads if you want it. And the organic views will come as a benefit with that. So those things are like just impossible in the traditional methods of marketing. And I think those are the things real estate industry right now is missing in marketing terms.
Absolutely. Vishal, would you like to throw some light on this subject? How does it give us longevity?
So, you know, Vicky, the problem with traditional media ecosystem with real estate is that it's actually broken. You can't give a firm view which is even neutral or negative on a project. That's the harsh reality, which is why people don't trust mainstream media. I know people may say about politics or economics, but nowhere has that phenomenon played that duration as it has in real estate. People don't trust that. It's maybe content is sponsored, it's too brazen, there's no sophistication in that marketing. You know, in fact, Aakash and Mayank said that very critical component. You can't be brazen in your promotion. You have to be nuanced, you have to be balanced. Otherwise, you become the ecosystem you are seeking to replace. And after 6-7 months down the line, audience is very smart. They know who's batting for whom. So the key challenge for all of us is to put out content where there is longevity. Pranali mentioned that point. It has duration just because of the backbone that social media provides. Just to give an example, in fact, I was talking to Govind about 6-7 months back. I put out a video on money control reviewing Lodha World Towers. I met him and I told him after the first month, I think I did so much research and still the views are lacking. He was telling me, don't measure it by the first month. This content grows. And invariably now when I look at it, the viewership has increased, but more than that, I see people taking decisions based on that because they know it's not buy. Means I don't want to sound as if I'm batting for Lodha. He may have many weaknesses as people will keep pointing out, but there are inherent strengths, and we as influencers should be able to bring that in the domain which allows people to take decision over a period of time.
That brings me to the third question of the morning. As you said, real estate is not so cool and sexy place to be in at first place, right? As compared to other industry influencer ecosystem, like entertainment and travel, we are a niche ecosystem. What are the advantages and pluses that we bring on the table? And what is the value generation that we all influencers create? This is for you first, Vishal, then for Pranali, and then for Pranshu.
For me, there are 3 buckets I see what audiences really look for. First is knowledge. You bring knowledge on the table. Mayank used that very important component, you know, that carpet area. For the longest time, people were being misled actively on what carpet area is, super built up, some bombastic numbers. That comes to the guidance part. How should you really evaluate your apartment? And third, I think, is in terms of deals. Most people who reach out to me, my audience set, if I was to break it down, is basically home buyers. Within that, most of them first home buyers, investors. The second segment goes to stock investors, and then is distressed asset managers. All of them have one key thing. Can you help with a special deal? They've met the project, they've gone, visited. They just want validation that they're doing it right or wrong. Many times they're doing it wrong. Okay, make no mistake about it. Many times they're doing it wrong. So you have to get them on the right track. But once you get there, you establish credibility, and the referral works very, very fast in this. If you are able to tell a person what is the right way, referrals multiply.
Pranali, to you, what are the advantages and pluses that we bring on the table?
So earlier, the developers were only dependent on the marketing videos or the creatives. But now when we create videos, we add human touch to that video, which get more viral, which get more traction. So that's what help in getting that entertainment also into that. And now, as we are the pilot batch of real estate, soon the entertainment field will also enter into real estate because they will see the growth that we are experiencing now, like that.
Great. Pranshu, the most Gen Z face on the panel, how do we bring the advantages and pluses? Please elaborate on that.
So first I'll answer that question. You said real estate is not an interesting segment other
Absolutely,
than
not so
other than
sexy.
the other like
Yep.
film industry and all. But now real estate is also changing and getting an interesting place as people are coming, like real estate developers are coming up projects which are related to travel. For example, Kalpataru launched a project in Karjat, Abhinandan Lodha has in Dapoli. So now you can also relate travel experience with these kind of projects. So real estate is now also becoming an interesting place to work in. And advantages of media, as you said, so we as an influencer, we show the first person's perspective of the place to the home buyers and the audience. Usually what happens when a real estate ad is given, because they are selling the property first and they are making that ad so beautiful looking that you might not actually believe it. It doesn't create that kind of credibility. But once we show the perspective, we show the wider aspect of the property and people relate to us. So it gives you more credibility that, okay, this property is good to invest. And also people, treat us like we are also a common man, like a home buyer. So I'll give you an example, like in our life, in the previous time when we don't have money, we always think of affordability. So for example, when Starbucks came to India, I will say I was not able to afford Starbucks. I'll never enter Starbucks because I think that's the brand value, it's very costly. But when I see people like me are going to that place, eventually I also entered that place once. So when we are going to such luxury properties and showing the infrastructure of those apartments, then people like us who are thinking of buying an apartment and they are not able to really afford it, but then they start thinking about it. Okay, one day we can also go and visit the property.
Absolutely. It's a slow and steady journey that takes us to the decision-making process. That's what you enlightened us about. Sachin, would you like to take this question? What are the advantages that we add?
Okay. So good thing about real estate, like what we guys all on the panel are doing is, we are not influencing someone to buy a particular product, but we are influencing them to take a good decision, informed decision on behalf of the things like carpet area, which you mentioned. There are many other points which Vishal adds in his tweets, which enable them to buy a particular property which they want. Okay, we are not influencing them that you should buy the particular product, but you should buy, if you want to buy this product, this is how you should evaluate if it's a good product or not a good product. So that what the value we are adding through various mediums like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. So that is what is helping this industry a lot, if you can see.
To the next question, this is particularly from Vishal and Varun. Why do you think this form has emerged at first place? What is the need, again, filling about need gap, why do you think that this form has come into a space where we are at?
मतलब ज़िंदगी में एक चीज़ बहुत ज़रूरी होती है, हम हर किसी को चाहे किसी भी फील्ड में हो, सुनने के लिए सुनना और सुनाने के लिए सुनना। सुनने के लिए सुनना यानी आज हम यहाँ शायद इस कारण हैं क्योंकि वी आर eagerly waiting to listen to you all, hear what you're saying and probably answer to you all what answers you're looking for. सुनाने के लिए सुनना वो होता है कि जब हम बैठे हैं चार लोग and I'm trying to find out the problems in life. As a journalist, Vishal mentioned about mainstream journalism and made a critical remark about it. मेरी रोजी रोटी रियल एस्टेट से 18 साल से चल रही है और मेन स्ट्रीम जर्नलिज्म के हिसाब से ही चल रही है। मैं चीफ रिपोर्टर से असिस्टेंट एडिटर ये सारे पायदानों पर रहकर आज यहाँ बैठा हूँ। आप मतलब क्रिटिकल हम हैं, मैं मानता हूँ मेन स्ट्रीम जर्नलिज्म हैज़ लॉस्ट इट्स credibility. That is the reason people don't read newspapers, and that is the reason we all are sitting over here, because we have moved from there to understand that what our people, what our audiences need. And the same is happening with real estate too. The real estate that I used to cover in 2005 or 6, when I would call a developer I would not get the replies. But today I don't even need to call developer. Ajmera ji is sitting here to know about his any project. I have to just log in onto his website called Maharera and I will get everything. So the thing that you asked, what exactly is leading people to us is transparency. And as I said earlier also, truth. हम सच से जिस दिन डगमगाएंगे, I don't think anyone will bother who Varun Singh is, who Vishal is, or anyone over here, because this medium, social media, has empowered everyone, every individual. If I am going to make a mistake, earlier when I would write in a newspaper, it would be on me. हाँ, Cottage छाप देते. Front page पे मैंने builder के बारे में कुछ बोल दिया, मैं 5वें पेज पे एक छोटा सा एक लाइन लिख दूँ. यहाँ पे if I write a single word that is wrong, immediately I will be challenged. That is making us more accountable. Accountability has come in this industry. Transparency, thanks to developers and the authorities, has come in, and we are just taking it ahead. We are not doing. हम कोई बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ नहीं कर रहे हैं. और I'm happy that we are sitting here and discussing it, because I'm sure that most of us now know the influence that a social person, a person who's active on Twitter, active on Instagram, is able to do. And just because, answering your question in one line, why have we come into picture? As a journalist, yes, I was there, but now as someone who's regularly tweeting about because people were looking for answers which they were unable to find. We are somehow trying to, take things from here and there and give them a reply.
To you, Vishal.
So I'll just take some extension of the point Varun mentioned. We are here because, like he mentioned and like how I mentioned before, the traditional system was broken. One benefit people like us have is that real estate is local. So many mediums which don't afford you the luxury of going local, we have an inherent advantage. Second is in terms of transparency. I think one part we have to give credit to the industry is that we have seen a big jump in transparency in the last 7-8 years. We could not be doing what we are doing if the industry had not upgraded itself. If it had remained opaque, the choice of word that Mayank mentioned, we would be ourselves throwing darts in the dark. So yes, so we have replaced an ecosystem which had lost credibility, which did not have the luxury of going local, and we stepped on it by ensuring that we are giving advice which is objective and in favor of the home buyer, what he should be doing. That was one part that was missing. Everybody in the ecosystem looked at everybody else except one component, the consumer. Home loan at so-and-so rate, 2 BHK at so-and-so rate, but nobody was looking at the home buyer. That's a bridge I think we have fulfilled in some capacity.
Not too much of selling, just being transparent and opaque. That's what we draw this from. To you, Mayank, questions that are most posed to an influencer by home buyers. What are the questions that you receive on day-to-day basis from home buyers?
So personally speaking, 99% of the questions I get are distress questions. People are losing money and they always come to us once they've given the token amount. So a lot of questions that come to us are always like, okay, now we are stuck. We've given the earnest deposit. What do we do? And at least we get so much negative questions every day. So Vicky, there's nothing I can actually do to end up actually solving that doubt once they've already given the earnest deposit. So we, like I said, get a lot of distress questions pretty much. People ask us about various rules, regulations, rather than actually asking us where to invest, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Got you,
we are
got you
not a
there.
sales-driven ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To you, Pranali, same question. The most dangerous or sophisticated questions that you receive from home buyers.
So as Mayank make all the informative videos, we here make very fun-loving Instagram trending videos. So here most of the questions what I get is people asking, "Arey ye 10 CR ka hai kya, lag bhi nahi raha hai." Some people who knows about it, they really appreciate that thing. Yeah, it is worth. Who knows about it? But very funny questions कि यार ये तो 10 लाख में आ जाएगा, अरे ये तो 1 CR का भी नहीं लग रहा है. Random question like that.
Good, good, good. Sachin, would you like to take that?
The most funny questions client ask are, so he said like people come to us, they want solutions on their problems. Like before buying, they should come to us, like, what kind of, is this location actually good enough to buy? So they should ask us that question. They go to that location, buy the property and then say, "Idhar train aane wala hai kya?" Okay, you should ask that before, or you should research that before. So people are very hectic in when they are buying their decision. So people want to expedite it. They want to do it on the same day itself. They want to do it on their birthdays. But they should at least take 15, 20 days of time before investing anywhere. That's what our 4 generations used to do, but we are hectic doing it a lot. So Vicky would like to add something on that?
So we have lot many memes on the refund amount here. I believe we have too many memes going on the web on this subject. Refund वापस नहीं आ रहा है. So if a client is in the mood to cancel the home buying process, he has paid a booking amount. So there is this process which gets terrified. A client is terrified about. My next question is to Mayank again. What are the key strengths and weaknesses of this form and format?
I think the key strength of any social media platform is number one, the reach. I can be sitting in my room on my bed with no infrastructure, only a phone in my hand, and possibly get 100K views. Not just me, anyone. Correct? Because like he said, it's made the common man more powerful, social media. It's given us access. Just to put things in perspective, 100K is 2 stadiums full. I'm sure CREDAI-MCHI footfall over the next 4 days might not be 100K. Never mind. The second key strength, I would say, is the metrics. I can measure everything on my social media, various analytics, unlike things like billboards or print media. So like today, when a brand calls me for a collab, I can actually tell them how many people have clicked on the link through my reel, through my story, how much traffic I have diverted to your website. So yes, it's very transparent, black and white. So yeah, I would say the reach and metrics.
Good to know. Varun would like to add something to this, and to you, Aakash, next.
एक ही चीज़ खाली
Please.
कहना था कि मुझे कि there's a difference which I feel in personally between a real estate broker and a media, social media influencer. We are not here to sell homes. Developers are, they know the market very well. उन्होंने 100 सालों से मुंबई में घर बेचा है, उन्हें पता है कैसे बिकता है. And if you see, most of the developers are also moving to social media. What we are supposed to do, or what we are doing, is just telling them facts, just informing them what has to be done. So, I do not look at it as a platform from where I'm looking the developers to come to me and tell me ki boss, help me sell. They have a Ranveer Singh to do that. He can do it better. He has a better reach. In the coming days, probably the way Bollywood is being boycotted, I think someone from here, or Vishal or Pranali, can become the face in future. But right now, the stage where we are, it is more about informing. It is more about bringing in transparency, which the people need. Beyond that, I don't think abhi hamara wo aaya hai. Probably in next 2 years or 3 years, we can be there, but not now.
Vishal, would you like to add something to the strengths and weaknesses?
So I think strengths, everybody has spoken, a lot of strengths. I'll say the weaknesses. I see 3 parts where we should be careful. One is money. This is an industry with a lot of money. There is scope to get corrupted at a very nascent level. How people handle that is a key part. In fact, as somebody in this panel, I would hazard a guess, in the next 5 to 7 years, if people do it right, the maximum money after Bollywood actors and cricketers on brand ambassadors will be as a real estate influencer. How you balance money with credibility is the challenge. The second part, I think, is that I don't think we should chase followers. Don't measure yourself. You have 5 million, 2 million. We don't want to be, or at least I'll speak for myself. I think Mayank clearly has a lot of followers. I'll say, let's chase quality followers who are your target audience. Everybody is not a home buyer of your radius. Focus on that. And thirdly, I think we need to be disciplined as to how we treat a potential home buyer. I think all of us have started well. We should not get carried away. I see this trend of social media influencers behave as if they're Shah Rukh Khan. Some of them with less than 100,000 followers. So we should be disciplined. Treat home buyers today how we were 2 years back. I think if we do that, people on this panel, after 5 years, they'll see a very different landscape.
Brilliant, brilliant answer there, Vishal. Before I take some questions from the audience, I would like to ask Aakash and Pranshu. As compared to the traditional methods of media and marketing, what do influencers bring, and which is totally impossible in the current scenarios? By current scenarios, what I mean is billboards or radio FM ads or something like that. How are influencers different? Pranshu, would you like to take that first?
So the first thing is the reach, and the second thing is for how long it's going to serve the objective. For example, newspaper, if you do an ad, next day it's in the raddi. But if you are putting a video on YouTube, it's there till the time you search, it will come into the results. So I guess the time of how long it's serving to the audience is the main thing which this medium is helping out.
Absolutely, Aakash.
So like whatever we spoke about right now in the last 15-20 minutes, all those things combined, if you see, most of the things are not possible with traditional social media. As said, analytics. As an influencer, you can specifically target a very small group of individuals that can be your potential buyers, which is not, if you put on a billboard, out of the 1,000 cars that might pass in front of them, only a few might be potential home buyers. But using our analytics, using certain topic that might be searched at that particular point of time, for example, Diwali is coming, if some offer is going on there, if you're trying to target certain budget homes or just investors or like people who want to live, those things can be structured in a way that will go to the audience that we want to see. Like in normal Facebook ads or whatever it might be, there also you can target ads. But when it comes to an influencer thing, those things can be combined with the things we discussed earlier, like the trust that we have, or the way that we present the videos, how people engage with us. Those things all form the major strength that is not at all possible with the mediums that go on right now. And also adding a point, Sir said, coming 4-5 years from now, the biggest point would be not getting corrupted in the industry and then also maintaining the credibility. So over here, as I said, it is very easy to fall as an influencer as compared to anyone who is already at a celebrity stage, because it's very easy to get cancelled, but movie stars will also again keep on getting movies, but we might not get anything. Our accounts probably are going to get terminated. So that's also a strength, because influencers generally happen in waves. We might be on a rising wave right now. We might reach a plateau. We might decline. We might stay there for 10 more years. Like if you see the Western countries, people are doing strong from 10-15 years as well. So that's something we need to maintain. So that's my point.
Mayank, would you like to add some quick points to that question? How are influencers different from the traditional medium?
I would in fact add to the weakness point, because I forgot that. Another one issue with this influencer ecosystem is doing the right research. You see, as an influencer, if you put something wrong accidentally because of ignorance, you are misleading a lot of people. Right? So that just briefly put, I would say, be sure of what you are putting. Right.
Absolutely. Great. Vishal, to you again. How can influencers create content that leaves a long-lasting impact, and what is particularly your short, mid, and long-term strategy out there?
So that's an interesting question, Vicky. I've not given it that long-term a thought, but I think in the short term, for me, content is making things simple, short. I won't use the word entertaining, but simple, short, and informative. Okay. How do you condense complex material into very short snippets. I think one of the advantages of a platform like Twitter is that it keeps a limit, and you have to keep it within that, which can then get expanded into other mediums like YouTube or Instagram. Over the medium and long term, I think the journey is that how do you reach more and more people? One of the learnings for me is that I started out focusing most on luxury. And I realized that while you're capturing very high profile deals, a big part of the market is being missed out. In that pursuit, it took me to newer geographies. One of the geographies is the market you guys cover well, Kalyan.
Absolutely,
and
yep.
that affordable space. So I think, yeah, my short-term, mid-term is that reach more and more people with diverse budgets and guide them on the right path if you have enough information. You should not be a know-it-all if you are not a know-it-all.
Similarly, like lead gen and outdoors are momentary, like to the maximum impactful days of 30 to 45 days window. Similarly, Pranali, would you like to take this question again? What is your short, mid and long-term strategy out there when it comes to content space?
Yeah. So short-term is accepting the show flat reel in a 15 to 20 seconds. A person can go through the entire show flat within 15 to 20 seconds. But when we are creating content, that is there for the developer. Newspapers are there, but we will be getting into creating content because content is going to be on Instagram. Then this is a short-term, quick and quirky content. Long-term is like growing together and getting that digital screen appearance. That our content should be displayed on the digital screen, getting the same importance as the other entertaining industries are getting, like that.
Aakash, again to you, similar question. What is your long-term strategy when it comes to highlighting infra of any particular zone? Let's say we had Navi Mumbai back in the day. Now we have similar areas out there. Ulve is a recent example. How would you like to take infrastructure story in the long term? How would you emphasize on that story?
I think before like the entire real estate industry enters into certain area, like if you take 10-15 years back, Ambarnath, Badlapur, the places where I belong from, these were like almost villages, right? But right now, almost every big developer has some of the other project over there. So as influencers, we have a little bit of power to influence people before the project start as well. As you said, in Navi Mumbai, right? There are new sectors developing. There are new projects coming. A video which is made not for a particular brand can also be influential. If I just make a video about a metro project or about an international airport or about a special economic zone that is coming up, some potential buyer over there will surely look into the whatever further comes over there. They might invest over there, whatever it might be. So our long-term strategy might be to focus on things that are still in the development phase, so that we can take it long term. We can see the next 2-3 years, not just like आज ये है, आज के हिसाब से करते हैं, but to keep it in perpetuity. And one of the big things about the field which I am in, infrastructure, we can make 10 videos out of one single project, because a project is not a one-day thing, right? We can make individual updates regarding whatever is happening and all those things. And every moment that we give an update is something that we can stretch it to integrate something. It might be a new project that is coming out, it might be an offer, it might be anything. So that would be my long-term strategy.
Absolutely. We have a couple of questions from the audiences. Do we have some questions here? Aakash, can you please?
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So one of the things that I feel is been a difficulty faced by the home buyer, and the social media does not address that, is comparison and benchmarking between projects, right? So today if I go to buy a car, I can compare 10 cars at the exact same parameters. That is something that the social media or classic marketing does not address. How do you think that challenge can be taken?
Good question there. Vishal, would you like to take that one?
So I think one part is being addressed to an extent, wherein tech platforms, so I think anything which is objective, quantitative, can be Excelized. So in that regard, some part is happening. I see some platforms that go very detailed in that. measuring various parameters across several projects. Some parts which are qualitative, I think they will always remain, subjective. So you can't really put them, so Varun's view will be different from mine, Mayank's will be different from mine, or Pranali's. So I think if we can get at least the basics of the quantitative aspects segmented well, verified well, I think that itself is a big step forward. And in that regard, I think we must say that platforms are already doing that.
We have a couple of questions from the front row, first row. Sir, would you like to ask some questions out there?
Yes, should I? Sir, please.
So, I would generally like to know, we as developers always, we collaborate together as influencing marketing and then probably reach out our projects to, the public at large through your platforms. But, as you said, there is a, we were just discussing every tweet or every post of yours as an analytical, data which shows that which has gone really well or which is, generally would like to know, because there are various and n number of schemes which come up from a developer. One is 2080 or, payment on possession, XYZ. What is it that really attracts a customer to your followers? Like through your followers, what do they really, want, so that we as developers or, something which can actually bridge that gap and get the right kind of marketing done, which will actually help the customer, we as developers, and probably add on to your followers. What is it, that scheme? Is it a scheme which works? Is it the price which works? Is it the project which works? What is your, Mayank, if you can answer, and probably any one of you.
To you, Mayank, and then to Pranali. Mayank, please.
That's a great question. So I think this, firstly, as an influencer, you must understand your audience. And whatever your audience wants or why the reason they are following you, that would work. So for instance, if we ever personally try to do a sales reel targeting, okay, this is a 2 BHK for 90 lakhs only, 1090, that will not work for my audience. However, I know there are some influencers like RK Realtors, for them this will work. For me, we tend to do it in a very subtle manner. We try to add an educational twist. I had a very fun reel collab with L&T in Crescent Bay. Fabulous layouts, the 4 bedrooms, the big ones. So we were given our creativity freedom, and we came up with good layouts versus bad layouts. And then we explained why that layout was good. So that, for me per se, worked. Whereas for somebody else, just the sales features or the financial payment flexibility scheme may work.
To you, Pranali.
When we create content for the customers, we are not selling you any Cadbury or Parle-G. It's 1 crore property. Like they have to trust us, and then they trust the developer first. So there need to be a transparency which a customer needs. कि जितना square feet बोला उतना मिलना चाहिए. Because the gap is there. Because salesperson says something, then actual what they get is a different thing. That they need. The show flat is beautiful, but when they get the actual house, that is not that good. The quality is not good. I'm not taking any brand's name, but a basic customer review I'm telling. That's it.
To add to your Cadbury point, I would also like to, add up to this. E-commerce में भी 2 या 3 बार sale आती है साल में. We have big billion days and everything. So that buying cycle is twice or thrice a year. In automobiles, we have every 4 to 5 years. Real estate is something that happens on a cycle of 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years, right? Sachin, would you like to take that question?
See, what I would like to add here is there are 2 types of people who are consuming our content on social media, if you see. One are the future buyers, and one who are going to influence the buying decision right now. Okay. So we need to reach to them at where they are right now, in the way they want. So memes is one of them where, people the meme stays with you for a very long time. And there's a property if you're showing, he can show it to his father, like, this is the property I have seen, would you like to see it? Or showing them that information also. Also, what happens is, the generation which we are about to cater in next 5 years wants everything in their hand right now. They want medicines at their house. They want food at their house. They want everything at their house. So they don't have that much of patience that they'll go to each and every site, they'll visit them, they'll take a month's time to decide, and then they'll ask 10 of their relatives, like, where should I buy, where should I not buy? They want all the information at one place. So we can become rather than influencers, we can become information aggregators. Okay, so that at one place we can provide them what they want, and they can choose in like a 2 to 3 days time, like which 2 to 3 projects he can shortlist, and then he can buy. So that's how the market will be after 4 or 5 years, is what I feel.
You know,
Vicky, can I take this?
Vicky, you just before. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, please.
Just wanted to answer what Dhaval bhai said. Sorry, Vishal. Dhaval bhai, ज़्यादा कुछ बदला नहीं है मार्केट में. जो इंसान को यानी घर होम बायर को चाहिए वो सिर्फ इतना ही चाहिए कि ईमानदारी से बिल्डर मुझे बता दे कितना कारपेट मिलने वाला है, कितना लोडिंग होने वाला है, कितना पैसे में घर मिलने वाला है, एडिशनल जो स्टार मार्क चार्जेस हैं वो कितने लगेंगे, और बुकिंग करते वक्त लोन कितना मिल सकता है, प्रोजेक्ट की लीगल टाइटल क्लियर है. इसके अलावा एक होम बायर अपने ज़िंदगी में कुछ नहीं चाहता. आप लोग वही करते आ रहे हो इतने सालों से. यहाँ पे जो लोग बैठे हैं वही थोड़ा सा उसको मैग्नीफाई करके वो फोटो ऐसे झूम करके आएगा, यहाँ से थोड़ा बड़ा हो जाएगा, वही करेंगे. बट जो बेसिक चीज़ चाहिए वो यही चाहिए कि ऑनेस्टी एंड ट्रांसपेरेंसी, कि बस आपने 2023 बोला है, 2023 में रेरा में भी वही डेट है, यहाँ पे भी वही डेट है, उसके अलावा कंप्लीशन का डेट मुझे कुछ और नहीं चाहिए, और वही लोगों को चाहिए, उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं चाहिए. सो दैट इज़ द बेसिक. आई थिंक सो. आई मे बी रॉन्ग बिकॉज यू नो आई डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड दिस मेटा एंड वो मल्टीवर्स एंड ऑल दैट. मैं लोकल ट्रेन में ट्रैवल करता हूँ, ऑटो में आता हूँ, और लोग जो बोलते हैं वो सुनता हूँ, और मुझे लगता है वही लोगों को चाहिए. आई मे बी completely wrong.
Got you there. Vishal, would you like to add?
So I think Varun knows the pulse of most Mumbai and Maharashtra better than all of us, given the type of number of debates he appears on for politics. But just to address Dhaval's point, it's a very good question. You know, there are less than 10 brands in Mumbai real estate, but they are not just 10 credible players. How do you make credible players a brand? That is where I see a big opportunity between developers as well as some people on this panel who don't have the budgets to do what a Lodha does. They'll operate within their micro market, be very disciplined, get the product going, but they don't have that much awareness. And that has become more important today than ever, because while real estate is local, a lot of transition is happening from one micro market to the other micro market. I see people from South Bombay. I grew up at Pedder Road and Altamount Road. I could never have imagined people from Pedder Road going to Baman's project at Kalanagar, Rustomji Seasons. It was so far away, but the center has changed. I'm no longer attached to the sea. He is, I don't see another developer who's managed the marketing and branding as well as Rustomji has. Because he's the only brand I think that has emerged in a big way in the last 10 years, a brand. People come, do transactions, go away, but they don't register. For the tier 2, tier 3 who operate within a narrow micro market, Jumeirah created a lot of flutter, when they did the recent launch, Manhattan. The results tell me they did good sales. But when they want to expand into newer markets, as they are, they will need to reposition themselves. And how they do that, I think people on this panel can collaborate to get activity done. Of course, with that disclaimer that being objective, the moment we deviate from that, we have lost this battle.
Please.
So when Flying Turtle creates experience video of a particular project, they fill the gap between the developer and the customer. Because Flying Turtle behave like a customer. They go to the site, we do the site Reiki, look at the sample flat, then we plan everything. What customer wants to know about the flat, their quality, the size of the living room, everything. That's how we fill the gap between the developers and the customers, and that increases the trust between them. Right.
Do we have any more questions from the audiences?
I think we have one question here, a couple of questions.
Sure.
Hi. So in the property market, you've got many different segments. You've got 80 lakh properties to 50 crore properties. As influencers, how does your approach change when you're looking at these different projects?
Aakash or Mayank, would you like to take that?
I mean, since we are not a sales driven channel, we anyways will add educational, we'll try to add educational twists to all. Whether it be a NA plotted project or an affordable housing in Vasant for 20 lakhs or a high-end Altamont Road penthouse for 50 crores, each flat has its own USP. Whether you utilize the space for an 8,000 carpet or whether you utilize the space well enough for a 320 carpet. I think that is what we personally would target.
Hyperlocal. Hyperlocal, sorry to interrupt you. Hyperlocal is what you are trying to add here, right? Real estate is hyperlocal. That's what.
Very, very hyperlocal.
Yeah, absolutely. Pranshu, to you, to begin with, one of your favorite content and brand that you have associated with in the recent past and that you literally enjoyed working with.
So storytelling has this uniqueness that every project has its own charm, its own beauty. So I'll not name any specific project.
You got to name, man. You got to name.
No.
Tell me one that you enjoyed.
See, all the projects have different kind of things. For example, Piramal Aranya, they have Rani Bagh in front. So it's very beautiful to shoot a drone coming over the green space. Like how you guys dream always, you know, the drone should come in between the forest and show the project. So that project had that kind of beauty. Other projects which are close to Worli Sea Face, that has the beauty of drone coming from the sea and showing the building. Projects like in Virar and Vasai, they have marshland where after the monsoon there is so much greenery. Then the drone is coming from long stretch of greenery. So every project has a uniqueness in their own. So I never say that this project was the best project because all of them are best.
Sachin, to you, recent interaction or the client that we have associated with that you've loved working with?
I guess even you would agree, there was a project in Thane, Metropolis, for which we did a stand-up act also, and we hosted the whole thing. And also they gave us a good kind of, freedom to do something on lines of memes also, like that area was depicted through some meme, and that stayed with their audience also, and they used it with their sales team also, if I'm not wrong.
We have a couple of questions.
Please.
Sorry.
I just wanted to understand.
Just a second,
आपने जो सवाल पूछा था, which we couldn't, I forgot his name. You asked a question.
Yes.
We were unable to understand a bit of it. Were you asking ki how, as an influencer, 50 crore worth home will be seen by us, or how will help a developer sell it?
Say, for example, a developer approaches you to sell a 1 CR project as well as a 50 CR project. Like, how would you, what would you offer them?
Sorry for sounding crass a bit. I don't know whether I should be saying it, but a developer in Mumbai who's selling a 50 crore to 100 crore home, even before he does the Bhumi Pujan, he knows who his clientele is. So when a Oberoi 360 is selling to Rajiv Bajaj 120 crore ka home, he knows what he's doing. What we can do, max to max, is show कि ये building है, इसके अंदर शाहिद कपूर ने 60 करोड़ में घर लिया, ये फ्लोर पे है, इसके अंदर ये पॉलिटिशियन ने 50 करोड़ में घर लिया, ये फ्लोर पे है. उसके beyond, if you're expecting how people like us can help accelerate the sale for a 50 crore or a 100 crore home, I think we haven't yet reached that stage, or none of us. I love to live in reality, and reality is कि to reach there it will take some time, as Vishal rightly pointed out. 5 से 6 साल के बाद शायद हो सकता है कि इनकी जो बिल्डिंग है परिश्रम, जहाँ पे पृथ्वीराज ने अभी घर लिया 2 दिन पहले 17-18 करोड़ का, वहाँ के लिए हमको अप्रोच करें, बोले कि यार लिख दो कुछ.
So we have a
couple of questions there.
Just
Yeah,
like to
Aakash,
add
please.
a little bit on that 50 crore house question. If you see on YouTube, there is this creator slash real estate agent, Rafiq Merchant. There is this video of a 45 crore penthouse, which I have seen when it was not sold, and then it also had the title changed to sold by him. So when 100K people watch, जैसे आपने कहा वो तो है ही, but इसके अलावा भी the audience is huge. Somewhere अगर वो individual person नहीं देख रहा, उनके assistant तो देख रहे होंगे, जिनको उन्होंने appoint किया होगा, at least they might be seeing, right? So the possibilities are endless. Obviously, the possibility for a smaller or a cheaper house would be much more than that. but the possibility is there.
So,
Yes,
guys,
please.
there's one question that has come from the developers' end. So I'm representing them.
Please.
The question is very simple. Currently, when we are using any other media in terms of ATL or the digital medium, there's a metrics which we are able to quantify it with. That okay, we are spending this much money and this is the ROI. But with regards to the influencer economy, and if it has to grow, there has to be a tangibility that has to be added. So what are the matrices that you're able to showcase to them which can tell them that yes, this is the ROI that they got out of the money that they spent with you or on you? That would help the whole ecosystem to also grow. But are you guys working upon such matrices right now? You're giving it, or in the future you plan to do it? That's the query.
Good question there. Pranali, would you like to take this one? Vishal, would you like to take this one?
So, it's an interesting question. I don't have an answer, okay? As a content creator, I want to focus on content. The metrics, the results, ROI, that I think as a content creator, I would like to leave it to somebody else. We should not get into doing multiple tasks. We should know the results, because then we'll know whether we're doing it right or wrong. But as a content creator, I want to be very clear. We make content for people, change our strategy based on the results. But don't get so involved on the monitoring as well as the monetary aspect that you lose from your core focus, which is content.
Brilliant. We have another question there?
Yes.
Yes.
There's
So,
one.
Keval, so
Hi all. I'm trying to combine two statements. One from Varun, he said सत्य अगर आधा भी थोड़ा भी कम हो या थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो तो वो सत्य नहीं रहता. And I'm combining that statement with Pranali's statement that we are the pilot batch of influencers. Now that means that it is very much of a symbiosis, right? If the real estate industry grows, obviously the development and growth of the influencer industry is also gonna get connected with it, right? So my question to all of you is that why don't we also look at the better side of real estate? Because I was observing all of you made one comment or another about giving less information, giving false information, carpet area. There is another side as well. Do you know that yesterday there was a developer, I will not name it here right now, who has donated more than 100 crores on one cancer hospital. Now I don't see that in any of the tweets, any of the social media campaigns which you guys run. Don't you think that kind of CSR activities, if supported by your reach, will also create a better picture for the industry as well as you guys?
has it reached out to you, Varun?
very valid point. केवल जी, मैंने 2006 में मिड डे में लिखना शुरू किया ना, वो एक आदत होती है इंसान की कि 100 क्वालिटीज़ हैं, 99 अच्छी है, पर वो एक खराब जो है ना, वो उस पर फोकस चला जाता है. एंड एज अ जर्नलिस्ट वही रहा बहुत सालों से. एंड नाउ व्हेन आई एम ग्रोइंग विथ एज, अब थोड़े बाल का सफ़ेद हो रहे हैं, तो मुझे ये आपने जो पॉइंट कहा ना बहुत अच्छे तरीके से एहसास होता है कि जब हम वो एक नेगेटिव की तरफ फोकस करते हैं तो हम बाकी 99 अच्छे छोड़ देते हैं. मैंने ये भी कहा शुरुआत में कि जो मैंने कहा ना कि सच घटे या बढ़े तो सच न रहे, पर झूठ की कोई इंतहा नहीं. ये कृष्ण बिहारी नूर ने बहुत आज से 30 साल पहले इस कारण लिखा था क्योंकि उनको पता था कि आगे चलकर ये बदलाव आ जाएगा. तो इसका अर्थ मेरा ये था कि आने वाले दिनों में देखिए 2017 में वन रेरा केम इन, I saw a huge sea change. I saw that developers who were not ready to give a possession date had started mentioning at least some date. मतलब 2010 का फ्लैट है, मैंने बुकिंग किया, मेरे को 2023, 24, 25 कुछ तो डेट लिखा, तसल्ली तो मिली. ट्रांसपेरेंसी की तरफ हम बढ़ रहे हैं. I will give you an example. कल मैंने सुग्गी का देखा एक प्रोजेक्ट, आई स्टे इन कल्याण, तो वो मुलुंड में बेच रहे हैं. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. 650 क्लियर बोला उन्होंने, रेरा कारपेट सर 650. उन्होंने ऊपर नीचे कुछ नहीं किया मेरे साथ कि इसके ऊपर 35% लोडिंग होगा, इसके ऊपर ये होगा वो होगा, नहीं. और बोल रहे इन्वेस्टर हो, आप इतना पैसा दो, अगर आपको घर खरीदना है बेचना है तो इतना पैसा होगा. क्लियर, बस उसी की उम्मीद है. उसके अलावा कोई आपसे नहीं मांग रहा है कि आप रोल्स रॉयस में घूम रहे हो तो मुझे टूर रोल्स रॉयस में कराओ. नहीं, मैं आपके यहाँ आया, आप मुझे चाय पिलाइए, अच्छे से घर दिखा दीजिए, क्या रेट लगेगा, कितने में बेचोगे, कितने में मेरे को पड़ेगा और कितना मिलेगा मुझे। जब मैं घर के अंदर घुसूँ तो मुझे 600 बोल के कई बार ना वो 400 देता है, 200 देता है, तो वो नहीं। और कुछ बिल्डर्स आए थे ना वो कॉम्पैक्ट होम्स वाले, उन्होंने थोड़ा आप लोग का मार्केट बिगाड़ दिया था। अब धीरे धीरे वो भी समझ रहे हैं, सो दे आर नॉट सेलिंग अ 1 BHK इन 180, दे हैव गॉन अप, गोइंग अप। आई थिंक दैट इज द नीड, ट्रांसपेरेंसी इज द नीड, सच इज द नीड, उसके अलावा और कोई जरूरत नहीं है। यहाँ रहो वहाँ रहो, सच के अलावा और कुछ नहीं बिकता, सच बिकेगा। एंड क्रेडिबिलिटी के बारे में एक छोटा सा चीज जो बार बार यहाँ कहा, सी न्यूज़पेपर्स में एडवर्टाइजमेंट यही बिल्डर्स देते थे ना, तो हमने इनके खिलाफ नहीं लिखा है, खिलाफ कोई नहीं लिखता। हम जब लिखते हैं वी जस्ट एक्सपेक्टेड दैट उनका भी साइड आए। बिल्डर कभी ये नहीं बोलता कि आप मेरे खिलाफ स्टोरी है तो मत लिखो, वो चाहता है कि मेरी भी एक स्टोरी है, मेरी भी एक वर्जन है, वो आए। एज अ इन्फ्लुएंसर अगर वो 60 सेकंड में आप किसी बिल्डर के ऊपर बोल रहे हो तो मैं केवल इतना ही बोलूंगा कि 10 सेकंड ही सही, 5 सेकंड ही सही, पर वो सामने वाले बिल्डर को भी उसका से बोलने को दो। दैट इज द ट्रांसपेरेंसी दैट आई वुड एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम दिस साइड, एंड ट्रांसपेरेंसी फ्रॉम डेवलपर्स कि वो जो कर रहे हैं, वो जो बता रहे हैं वो बता दे बस। थैंक यू।
Brilliant point there. Vishal.
So Keval, I think you are legitimately pointing out a miss that we do. At the same time, I think we have to understand this, that this is an evolution that has started taking place. Builders 10 years back, when I was a home buyer, were hated from the bottom of their heart. You know, if you put 10 of them in the room, people want to hit them. Okay. Today, when you see them, there is growing respect. Make no mistake that 30% will still be what they were. They will find loopholes and everything. But as we see the evolution happening where more developers start delivering, I think the key is the next 3 years. We have seen a lot of supply. If the next 3 years developers behave, do things honorably, you will see a sea change in reputation. Many people over here, I'm sure, if they say positive things about a developer, first reaction from public will be, isko paisa mila hai. It's true. Varun ko bolo, ask him to do it. First response will be that. I think one time I remember some donation Baman had done some time back during COVID. I shared that. Immediately the thought starts coming. So the thing is, we don't intentionally try to belittle the positives of developers. There are a lot of them. But developers have to up their game. They're doing it. 3 years, you see the reaction. If you're sitting in the same panel, you will not have this question.
Aakash, would you like to add there some positive aspects to the infra around any development project that comes up?
Before coming to that, like just adding to Keval sir's question, see, I think in the traditional methods of media also there have been, if you see, there are National Geography documentaries on infra projects or like real estate projects already made like 10, 12 years back. So those have worked in creating a good image, brand building. ये brand building की बातें हो गई, creating a positive outlook. But when you talk about a customer, उसके सामने आप कितना भी अच्छा image बनाओ, in the end जो points वरुण सर ने कहे, sorry, whatever it might be, जो individual चीजें उनको चाहिए देखना है, price वगैरह, that's going to matter only at that point. So as influencers, we can do both. But in the end, for what we are doing, the marketing thing, should whatever result is expected from us, it will come from the second part. It's not going to come from the first part. This is what I have seen working in brands which might not even need to be into real estate as well, whatever other brands we do. So this is what we have seen happening. Only building a positive image is good. Awareness aa jati hai. But when the decision comes to actually put your money, at that time clarity, transparency, ye cheezein matter karti hai, and we can balance both.
Great point there. Before we move on to the conclusive remarks out of this panel, I would like to ask one last question to you, Vishal. The impact of the alternative styles, the maximum impact that we can hit, the pilot batch, as Keval sir mentioned, we are the pilot batch, right? The maximum impact that we can foresee.
So I think this pilot batch has the potential to penetrate more and more geographies. I think we'll see a phenomenon amongst all of us where you will figure out your domain and niche. I think we'll cover the key markets. I don't think we'll ever get that stage of going national. People will divide where their focus is. between whatever, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, whichever. And I think if we do that well, that in itself will be a big step up. One market itself, I track Mumbai almost on a daily basis, every project. And I can still tell you that I feel short. I'm doing it 7 days a week, and there's still so much to see, so much to learn. So I think we have to segment it right, and we have to keep our focus.
Aptly described. Mayank, any conclusive remarks there?
I just think that we as influencers, like he had pointed out earlier, it's very important to stay ethical in terms of the brand collabs. Because there's sometimes even we get DMs, true story, where we know the building is stuck. I will not name the builder, but I've got a DM where the building is stuck and I know it's stuck and they're pushing me for a brand collab. So that is when you're not supposed to even, that's when you're not supposed to do the collabs. So one is obviously ethics. And second is, personally for us, I feel sticking to the niche is very, very important. For us per se, I also have a real estate brokerage firm. But as you'll see, we don't market any properties. I don't link the sales of my Green Cottage company to this. They're two separate entities. So we don't even do promotional reels for ourselves, let alone other builders. So I think, and we've lost obviously collab payments and stuff, but that's secondary. I feel sticking to your niche is the most important thing because that's the reason people are following us and not even following us, trusting us. So I think that we shouldn't break.
Yes, Pranali.
So the basic funda is that create good content for the common man who is putting his hard-earned money in this. That's it. So educate people through good content. That is all we meant to do there.
Sachin, would you like to add something?
So when a few years back, the most read thing, the most time spent by an individual was on newspaper. So the good content used to come on newspaper. Then people started switching to TV. Now this time, after like COVID, if you would see, most of the time people spend is on phone. And in that phone also, if you subcategorize it, it would be on social media. Okay, that is Instagram and everything. So that's where we should reach our customer, is what we should do in ahead. And also reach him the way he wants. Like he wants to see different type of, he doesn't want only to see ads and ads and ads. He wants to see some content which is, which will add value to his life. See, real estate buyers, quantum में कम हो शायद दूसरे कोई भी products हैं, but everyone is interested in real estate. Everyone wants to know, wants to have knowledge about real estate. So that's where we can, add the knowledge they want, the knowledge they should have before buying or influencing someone to buy a decision also, is what I'd like to add.
So probably next time when we meet, we need someone from Gen Z doing Snapchat out there. Snapchat is the need gap that we identify here. Yes, Varun, to you.
To conclude, I would just say कि गीता में बहुत अच्छा श्लोक है जो इस तरफ और इस तरफ दोनों के लिए है कि कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन. हम चाहे उस तरफ हो या इस तरफ, हमको हमारे कर्म करने हैं. And let be honest with it. And the audience that we have, the audience that they have, अगर आप अपने कर्म के साथ, ईमानदारी के साथ कर रहे हो, तो कहीं पर भी आपको कुछ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. It happens. As I said in the start, when I went to Twitter in 2009, तब एक फॉलोअर भी मेरे को लगता था मिल जाए. आज जब हज़ारों में है तो ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ ठीक है, वो हो रहा है अपने बलबूते पे, क्योंकि हम लिख रहे हैं, हम बोल रहे हैं. लिखना जिस दिन बंद कर देंगे, यानी कर्म करना बंद कर देंगे, कोई नहीं आएगा. जिस दिन डेवलपर बिल्डिंग बनाना बंद कर देगा, कोई नहीं आएगा. ईमानदारी के साथ हम काम नहीं करेंगे, वो काम नहीं करेंगे, हमारे पास कोई नहीं आएगा. बस वही एक चीज़ है कि लेट्स डू आवर वर्क विथ ऑनेस्टी एंड आई थिंक वी विल ऑल रीच वेयर एवर वी वांट टू.
Aakash.
Sorry to...
I'll speak purely on the influencer.
So Aakash will take the last comment from you, if you don't mind.
All right.
The last comment.
Last comment from you, Aakash.
Okay, fine. I'll just speak purely on the marketing point over here when it comes to influencer and real estate. 2 years back, when I started doing YouTube full time, the brands that used to come to me कि हमारा collab कर दो, हमारा promotion कर दो, the amounts that they paid, the way they wanted the advertisements to be placed, they were also skeptical. Would it work? Would it not work? Last financial year, we did more than 100 integrations on our YouTube channel. So most of those integrations were repeats from the brands who were skeptical on us at a point of time. And I think real estate, especially the market condition which is right now, In India, it is on that border right now कि वो influencer marketing में अभी enter कर रहे हैं. And it's not a new experiment. If you see the US real estate market, there is a big push to sell projects with influencers. And I think Indian market is now getting ready for it. And coming 3-4 years, even whatever the skepticism would be left of promoting the properties with influencers would be surely gone. Obviously, there will be some little bit of trial and error, but surely the results will be like fruitful in like monetary terms for developers as well and for us as influencers as well.
So here we end. Thank you everyone for joining us on the panel. Please, can we please all stand up? Thank you everyone for this beautiful morning conversation.
Thank you very much.
Welcome you to the day on this Grand Property Fest, CREDAI-MCHI. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Close.
So इनने जब कहा था can we all stand up, he meant the panelist. Everybody here can please sit down. You can relax.
Oh, please.
And before you leave, I would request Dhaval sir if you could please join us on stage to present a token of appreciation. Can I please request our panelists to step up ahead? Dhaval sir, I'll request you to present a token of appreciation to Mr. Mayank Agarwal. And sir, while you're on stage, we would also request you to present our fondest token of appreciation to Mr. Aakash Bhavsar.
I don't have to. Just a couple.
Thank you very much, sir. Can I request Mr. Jayesh Chauhan to join us on stage? To Pranshu Dubey. And also to Mr. Vishal Bhargava. Thank you. Keval sir, please join us on stage and present our fondest token of appreciation to Sachin Vanjarani. And also to Pranali Kadam. Can I please request Mr. Nikunj sir, if you could please join us on stage and present a token of appreciation to Varun Singh. And requesting architect Kunal Raval, if you could join us on stage and present our token of appreciation to our moderator, Vicky Rochlani. Thank you. Can I request everyone to please join us for a photograph?